My blessings. How are you all today? I hope you guys had a blessed day. It is Saturday. It's a rainy day outside, so I'm not going to put anything on my face. It's all natural. Um, I did have to moisturize my lips. I've been wearing the matte lipsticks a little too much, and they've been trying to dry my lips out. And so, oh, that was just my dryer. And so, I've been needing a lot of moisture for my lips. This is just a soft lip moisture. It's like the little egg thing, like the eco egg thing. I like it, and I think it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. And I had to use my Bliss Fabulips today, the sugar lip scrub, because my lips just got really dry. I don't know if it's the weather changing in addition to me using all the matte lip glosses, but my lips have been really dry. Comes in a jar like this, Fabulous by Bliss, and it's just a little scrub. It has sugar and sweet sugar, walnut shell, and is it hajaba in it, and it's a really good product. It helps my lips, softens the dry skin on my lips. And then I usually leave it on. When you put it in, you got to put it on a circular motion. And whenever I have it on, I smear it like that, so it's constantly, the sugar in the shell is constantly scraping my lips. And then after, whatever I'm doing in the day, I leave it on for a little while, and then I just take a Q-tip and kind of roll it across my lips, and it kind of rolls off the dry skin on my lips. Then I use a wet towel to go over it, and I do that, and it comes off, and they come out better. They're still a little dry, but they're a lot better. You'd have seen them earlier. It was horrible. But in any case, I don't know where that conversation came from about my lips, but today I'm going to do an eyebrow tutorial on the two different ways that I do my eyebrows. I do pencil, and I also do powder, the powder eyebrow. So this is the powder that I use. And this is very cheap. This came from the Dollar Tree, I believe. It's by Colormates. Is this a brow powder? And it's got it comes in a dark brown and a medium brown color. Oops, dropped the brushes. Dark brown and a medium brown color. And then I use either for pencil, I have a couple of pencils, but I either use this e.l.f. brow pencil. Comes with a sharpener on the end. And it also comes with a concealer on the, I keep missing the camera, and the concealer on the end. I don't use this because it's very light. I just use my regular concealer. And then I also use my Wet n Wild kohl pencils, eye pencils. And this one is in, what color is this? This is taupe of the morning. I don't know if you can see that. Taupe of the morning. And this one is in a dark brown. Simmer brown now. See, simmer brown now. It's a dark brown. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild pencils. And I'm going to use the powder. And I'm going to use, instead of using the LA Girls concealer, I'm going to use the Pure Mineral. This is by Ruby Kisses. The Pure Mineral Concealer. High Definition Smart Blend. And I'm going to use for underneath my eyebrows the Rich Beige. And on the top of my eyebrows, I'm going to use the Chestnut. Alright, let's get started. I've already washed my face my skin is moisturized. I'm a little shiny because I moisturized really well today. I was going to put a primer on it, but I'm not going to put a primer on. It's just a wasted product because I'm just going to do my brows and I'm not going anywhere. So I'm going to start off with the pencils. How about that? Now I'm going to be using the camera and I have my mirror here. So I'll be back and forth. But I want to make sure that you guys can see me. And also another thing, that the brushes that come in the powder, these little tiny brushes, they're stiff. They're kind of stiff, like a stiff plastic. So I actually like to use these brushes when I'm using the powder. And I will be using those brushes. I dropped both of them. Oh, there we go. Okay, but I'm going to start out with the pencils. I did clean up my brows a little bit. Just a little bit of tweezing. I'm trying to steer clear of raising them. And again, I had a little experience with the threading when the lady took off my tails and my eyebrows. So I'm trying to grow that back in. I mean, I have, you know, pretty decent eyebrows, but I'm trying to get them a little bit more thicker. So I'm kind of steering clear of getting threaded or waxed for a little while. So I just clean them up on my own whenever it's needed. So let's start here. We're going to start with the right eye. We're going to do the Wet n Wild pencil. And I'm going to try to do this pretty quick. So I'm not going to talk that much. I'm trying to see if I'm going to be out of you guys' sight if I bend down to get this mirror. So I think we're good. We're good. All right, we good. We good. We good. So I'm just going to trace my eyebrow with the light hand. Sometimes I have the heavy hand going on. Can you guys see me? I'm just going to trace. I really don't like that transition right there to be that sharp. So I'll fix that later. You see how it dips up deep like that? I really don't like that. So I brush them up to do the bottom, and then I pull them, brush them down to trace the top. And then I just kind of very light-handedly add a little product into the eyebrow. And I do that with the light hand because I'm going to brush the product from me tracing into the eyebrow as well. So it's going to be more than enough for the whole eyebrow. So I'm just going to brush it in. This is not the spoolie I usually use to do this. I'm going to brush it in. And I'm going to take it from the top and brush it down. And as you see, it'll take that hard line away. And it'll add color pretty much to the skin underneath the eyebrow when I'm brushing it that way. It's smearing it into the hairs and into the skin. And that's how I also get that line, that deep cut, a little like smoothed out a little bit. But yeah, I'm brushing it into, again, my skin and into the hairs. And that's the dark brown. Any little sparse sections, I just add a little pencil. Very little, so I don't want it to be too dark. And let me get this other spoolie. Where is it? I'll use this one. This one's softer. So brushing the product into this, to the skin and into the brow hair. And then I go in with the light brown, the lighter brown, the taupe of the morning pencil. And I add this just right in the front of my eyebrows. Right here in the front. And I push it into the rest of the eyebrow. And that's it, not a lot. This part does not need a lot. Then I take my spoolie again. I brush up. And there's product in the spoolie from me brushing previously. And I take that light brown and I brush it into the rest of my brows. And I add very little spots of the dark brown there where the light brown is, not a lot. And I smear that. I smear that in. All right, and you guys know that it's okay to, it to be messy. It's not supposed to look perfect because you're going to sharpen it up and clean it up with your concealer. But that's the putting the product on the eyebrow stage. Adding the product. No concealer. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add my concealer. Again, this is the Ruby Kisses Pure Mineral Concealer in light beige. And it comes with a applicator. Sometimes when it's a lot of product, I kind of scrape it a little bit to take some of the product off. And this is how I apply this concealer. And I just trace underneath my brows. And that line of concealer that shows up, that thick line there, I leave that there. I like that because I pull the concealer down. So it's good to have that amount of concealer there. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I have my window open because my lights are super warm. I want to turn the fan on, but I don't know if it'll affect the video as far as noise is concerned. So if the noise of the car is bothering you, please excuse it. I'm just trying to stay cool while I do my tutorial. Okay, I've added the concealer. Now I'm going in with this dual-ended brush. It's an angled shadow and liner dual brush. This is very thin, perfect for precision. I love this brush. I can't do my makeup. I can do my makeup without this brush, but I prefer not to. This is my favorite out of all my makeup brushes. This is like one of the top 5 of my favorite brushes to do my makeup. And this brush is by Prevail. Prevail or Prevail. Dual-ended brushes. I have a couple of them. It came in a set. I think it's one more. I don't know where it is though. So I use this brush, this end of this brush, the liner end of this brush, to bring down my concealer. And right where that good amount of concealer is, I touch that and pull it down. And in some cases, in most cases for me, if I have time, if I do it in time enough, I can use my concealer as a primer because it allows your eyeshadows to stick to it a little bit if it's moist. But when it dries out, it does help the color as well. Helps a little bit with making the color more strong. Excuse me. So then, after I put that on there, on that eyelid or underneath the brow, I take the fluffy end of the brush, the shadow end of the brush, and I kind of just smear it and blend it. Smear it and blend it. That's it. That's it. So my bottom of my brow is done. Still don't like how deep this is, but what it is I'm growing my brows out, so I haven't been cleaning this portion of my brows up as much as usual. I want it to fill in more. I want this whole section to fill in more. But it's hard because you don't want to walk around with your brows bushy, but no pain, no gain. So now I'm going to go in again with the Ruby Kisses Mineral Concealer in Chestnut. And I wipe the tip off, take some product off because there's a lot of product. The way I have it stored, I store these upside down in one of my lipstick caddies. So the product is all down in the neck of the applicator. So I'm going to take this and trace the top of my eyebrows. And this is how you fix any mistakes you made while adding your liner or your brow pencil or whatever. This is how you get that sharp brow. Now I'm rounding that off. Usually I leave the arch because underneath that concealer right there, there's hair. Because I have a natural arch in my eyebrows. As you can see, I have that natural arch. But I've been kind of rounding it off lately. So I add that. I always put my lids back on my concealers and stuff. Anything that can dry out, I put my lids back on tight until I use it again. Because you don't want to waste your product. So I take the same brush, the dual end Prevail shadow liner brush. Even though it has the light concealer on it, it'll blend in, so I don't worry about that. I don't clean it or anything. And I take the product and I brush upward. Brush upward towards my hairline. And the chestnut concealer, it's very close to my skin tone, so if not almost exact to my skin tone, so it's super easy to blend. Like when I don't wear makeup on days, I can just highlight or sharpen up my eyebrows, do my eyebrows just with the chestnut on the top and the bottom, and they look amazing because the chestnut is exactly my skin tone, so the concealer blends in perfectly. It looks super neat. Okay, so we're going to stop there. I don't want this video to be crazy long. So we're going to stop there with that eyebrow. Super simple, super quick. And that eyebrow is done. It's faded in the front and it shades out to the back. And that's from the lighter brown into the darker brown. And that's my eyebrow tutorial on for my pencil. And let's get the powder done really quick because I didn't expect the video to be this long. But yeah, that's my brow. So with the powder, you have two colors the same way that I have with the pencil. I use two colors, a dark brown and a light brown. And on the bottom of, which one is it? This is how I differ the pencils, the brushes that I use. On the bottom of one of the brushes, you can see that I have a little bit of powder on the end of it. I leave that on the end of it so I know that that's my light powder brush, and then the other one without anything on it is my dark powder brush. Okay, so let's start adding the powder. I've already brushed out I didn't want this video to be this long. I promise I didn't. Just get to chit-chatting. That's horrible. I gotta work on that. So you just brush the product into the brow. And I'm still kind of doing the same idea of tracing. But instead of working from the outside in, you're pretty much working from the outside, from the inside out. In the sense of adding the product. Bring that a little bit forward. I kind of use this brush in different ways. So that's my adding of the dark. I think I need a little bit more. Thicken it up. Thicken this top line. Straight across, you're adding the product to the brow and the brow hair and the brow skin, basically. Okay, that's the dark powder, and then I'm going to go in with the other brush. It was kind of caked with powder, so I'm just wiping it off a little bit. Okay, I'm going into the light powder now. Take a little bit, again, just like the pencil. You don't need a lot of it. You just need it right there in the beginning of your brows. And the whole purpose of the lighter powder is to start that fading process in your brows. You want it to fade from light to dark, right? Okay. All I gotta do is get the product on the brow. Now I'm gonna brush it through just like I did with the pencil. One of the differences with the two products is the one done with the pencil, of course, it's a kohl pencil. It has moisture, it has a wax in it, or oil or something in it. And so your brows have a sheen to it that causes them to have a little shine to it. With the powder, it's just dry powder, so there's no shine. It's more of a dust matte look, if you will. Okay, we're going to go in with the concealer. Same concealer. So if you prefer a matte looking brow, you should use the powders. The brow powders. I have a girlfriend that uses the she has a dark brown eyeshadow. It has no shimmer to it or glitter or anything. She just uses that for her brow. I think MAC has a shadow that you can use in that way. But if you like your brows matte, more of a matte look to them, try not to use a whole bunch of products. I try not to be wasteful. Not going anywhere, so let's not use too much. But if you like your brows with a matte look to them or dry look, use a powder. If you like a more waxy sheen look for the hair on your brows, use a pencil or a gel or a cream. Again, I'm going up into where this concealer starts and I'm pulling down. And that's it. That's pretty much it. And again, sometimes I use this as my primer for my eyeshadow or to help my eyeshadow color. Okay, now just blend that in. That's the bottom, and let's do the top, and we are done. It's real quick, and anybody that do makeup, brows take time. I have did a little talking, so I could have shaved some time off of this video, but brows take time. If you want your brows to look nice and neat, like for me, my brows, doing my makeup,